The Porsche 911 has been the unquestioned benchmark for high-performance sports cars for over 6 decades. But the current 992.2 generation brings us to one of the most dramatic turning points in automotive history. Today, if you walk into a Porsche dealership with a stack of cash or a confirmed order slot, you are forced to answer a fundamental philosophical question. Do you want futuristic electromechanical engineering that completely rewrites the rules of speed? Or do you want raw, unadulterated, high-revving analog engagement? On one side of the showroom floor stands the new Carrera GTS. It features Porsche's innovative T-Hybrid powertrain, blending a high-tech electrified turbocharger and a transmission-integrated electric motor with a newly developed flat-six combustion engine to deliver absurd, instantaneous acceleration. On the opposing side stands the 911 GT3 family, a motorsport-derived weapon powered by a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat six that revs all the way to a screaming 9,000 RPM, paired with a tactile 3-pedal manual transmission. Both cars wear that legendary, instantly recognizable 911 body silhouette. Both carry decades of heritage on their shoulders, but underneath their lightweight skins, they deliver entirely different driving experiences. Understanding which car is right for your garage requires us to look past the brand prestige, ignore the internet hype, and examine what actually happens when you press the accelerator, drop the clutch, or attack a tight, winding mountain road. We are comparing two completely different engineering philosophies: peak electromechanical capability versus pure driver-focused mechanical purity.
Let's start under the rear deck lid of the 992.2 Carrera GTS, where Porsche has introduced its groundbreaking T-Hybrid technology. It is crucial to understand right off the bat that this is not a plug-in hybrid designed for silent electric driving through suburban neighborhoods, nor is it built for chasing tax incentives and fuel economy numbers. The T-Hybrid setup is a pure performance augmentation system developed with one single objective: to eliminate turbo lag and deliver relentless, instant power across the entire rev range. At its core is a newly developed 3.6-liter flat-six combustion engine that generates a healthy 478 horsepower all on its own. But the real engineering wizardry happens inside the single electric exhaust turbocharger. Instead of using a traditional twin-turbo layout, Porsche installed a compact 11-kilowatt electric motor directly on the shaft, positioned between the compressor and turbine wheels. The exact millisecond your foot touches the throttle pedal, that electric motor instantly spools the compressor wheel up to 26.1 psi of boost before exhaust gases even have time to build up. Turbo lag, for all practical human purposes, is dead and buried. And Porsche didn't stop there. Housed directly inside the reinforced 8-speed dual-clutch PDK transmission is a permanent magnet electric traction motor that contributes an additional 54 horsepower and 110 pound-feet of torque right off the line. Both of these electric motors draw their juice from a lightweight 400-volt, 1.9 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion traction battery packaged neatly under the front hood. Combined, this electromechanical power plant pumps out a massive 532 horsepower and 449 pound-feet of torque. The result on the actual asphalt is nothing short of mind-bending. Plant your right foot using dual-clutch launch control, and the GTS Coupe blasts from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a staggering 2.5 seconds in independent testing, blitzing through the quarter mile in 10.6 seconds at 131 miles per hour. Even the open-top GTS Cabriolet hits 60 miles per hour in roughly 2.7 to 3.0 seconds. The GTS doesn't just accelerate, it launches forward with a massive, uninterrupted wave of low-end torque that makes the car feel effortlessly fast in any gear, at any speed, and under any driving condition. Before we turn our attention to the atmospheric, high-revving screamer that is the GT3, Here is a mind-blowing fun fact about the Carrera GTS T-Hybrid system that most people completely miss. Did you know that the electric turbocharger inside the GTS doesn't just generate instant boost, it actually acts as an onboard electrical generator while you drive? When you are hard on the throttle at high speeds and exhaust gas energy builds up beyond what is required to maintain boost pressure, the integrated 11 kilowatt electric motor inside the turbo reverses its function in real time. It acts like an exhaust-powered dynamo, converting excess exhaust heat and pressure back into usable electrical power to recharge the 400-volt traction battery under the hood. That means the GTS is actively harvesting electrical energy straight out of its own tailpipe while you're driving hard. Now, let's step out of the hybrid digital laboratory and step into the raw motorsports sanctuary of the 911 GT3. The GT3 completely ignores electric traction motors, heavy battery packs, and turbochargers. Instead, it relies on a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat-six engine developed directly by Porsche's GT racing division in Flocht. This atmospheric motor puts out 502 horsepower, which might look lower than the hybrid GTS on a spec sheet. But horsepower numbers printed on paper don't tell the emotional story of driving this car. While the hybrid GTS gives you immediate torque down low at 2,000 RPM, the GT3 forces you to work for its performance in the most rewarding way possible. Its peak torque arrives high up at 6,250 RPM, and peak horsepower doesn't show up until 8,500 RPM, on its way to an earth-shattering 9,000 RPM redline. The induction roar and mechanical exhaust note at 9,000 RPM deliver a spine-tingling acoustic experience that no turbocharged or hybrid setup on Earth can replicate. Keeping this high-revving engine legal under strict new Euro 6e emissions regulations required extraordinary engineering work. Porsche was forced to fit 4 catalytic converters alongside gas particulate filters into the exhaust stream. Because those extra restrictive filters created exhaust back pressure that slightly reduced low-end torque to 331 pound-feet, Porsche's engineers devised a brilliant mechanical solution. They shortened the final drive ratio on the 6-speed manual transmission by 8%. That shorter gearing increases effective wheel torque across every single gear. When you downshift using the shortened low-effort shift lever, the engine revs effortlessly, driving you forward with crisp, unfiltered throttle response. 0 to 60 miles per hour takes about 3.7 to 3.9 seconds with the manual gearbox, or 3.2 to 3.4 seconds with the optional 7-speed PDK. But the GT3 isn't built to win straight-line drag races against electric supercars. It is designed to maximize mechanical engagement, rewarding every precise heel and toe downshift and making you feel like an integral part of the machine. When you push these two machines through a series of demanding S-curves, their mechanical personalities diverge even further. The GT3 features an aggressive double wishbone front suspension architecture derived directly from the 911 RSR race car. Instead of conventional rubber bushings, it utilizes uniball joint bearings that keep the tire contact patch completely rigid under heavy cornering loads. For the 992.2 update, Porsche integrated aerodynamic teardrop profiles known as aero bars directly onto the lower front wishbones, a trick borrowed straight from the extreme GT3 RS. These aero bars generate genuine downforce over the front axle while channeling cool air straight to the front brake rotors. Combine that motorsport front end with a curb weight ranging between 3,150 and 3,386 pounds, and the GT3 changes direction with razor-sharp precision. The steering wheel vibrates with detailed feedback, communicating every tiny imperfection and change in grip directly to your palms. The Carrera GTS approaches high-speed handling from a sophisticated, technology-first perspective. It relies on a McPherson strut front setup paired with Porsche active suspension management that lowers the chassis ride height by 10 millimeters. Rear axle steering comes standard, turning the rear wheels in opposition at low speeds for agility and in parallel at high speeds for rock-solid stability. To keep body roll completely flat, the GTS utilizes an active roll stabilization system, PDCC, powered directly by the high-voltage 400-volt electrical bus. This allows the electro-hydraulic anti-roll bars to react instantly to lateral G-forces, keeping the car level through aggressive cornering. Active vertical air flaps in the front bumper open and close dynamically to balance cooling needs against aerodynamic drag. However, carrying a 400-volt battery, electric motors, and hybrid cooling systems means the GTS carries a curb weight between 3,635 pounds for the coupe and nearly 3,800 pounds for the cabriolet. You can feel that additional mass when transitioning quickly between tight left and right corners, though Porsche's active chassis tech manages the weight brilliantly well.
Stepping inside the cockpits of these two performance cars highlight their fundamentally different interior design goals. The Carrera GTS is engineered as an extraordinary, modern daily driver. The cabin features a 12.6-inch curved digital instrument cluster that offers 7 customizable display views, including a classic 5-gauge layout centered around a traditional digital tachometer. The historic rotary ignition switch on the left side of the steering wheel has officially been replaced with a push-button start. The central 10.9-inch touchscreen runs Porsche's latest software, complete with deep Apple CarPlay integration, native streaming apps, and even parked video streaming capabilities. The adaptive suspension remains remarkably compliant over broken city streets, cabin noise is well isolated, and the hybrid engine's broad torque curve makes driving through daily rush hour traffic completely effortless. Inside the GT3, luxury distractions are intentionally stripped away to keep you focused on the road. The upper dashboard is covered in anti-glare Race Tex fabric to eliminate reflections on the windshield during sunny track days. The door panels feature lightweight carbon fiber pull loops instead of bulky handles. While the GT3 now adopts a full digital gauge display, it features exclusive motorsport screen modes that strip away clutter, leaving only vital track data, tire pressures, oil temperatures, and a high-visibility shift-sweep tachometer. The suspension ride is stiff. Road noise filters directly into the cabin so you can hear the valve train working, and optional carbon bucket seats lock your torso firmly in place. It is a focused, purposeful cockpit built specifically for serious driving.
Price structure and long-term value trajectories represent another huge area of separation between these two 911 variants. The Carrera GTS serves as the ultimate high-performance bridge between standard Carrera models and raw GT cars. The rear-wheel drive GTS Coupe starts around $164,900, while the GTS Cabriolet comes in near $178,200. When you consider that the GTS delivers sub-3-second 0-60 acceleration and near-turbo S-level performance, it represents an incredible engineering value for drivers who want top-tier speed without giving up daily usability. The 911 GT3 and GT3 Touring sit much higher up the financial ladder, starting around $224,495 to $235,800 before you even begin adding options or dealing with real-world dealer markups. If you step up to rare open-top collector variants like the GT3 Speed-Style Cabriolet, pricing easily scales toward $275,000. That massive price gap doesn't buy you faster straight-line times. In fact, as we've seen, the hybrid GTS will beat the manual GT3 off the line every single day of the week. What that extra money buys you is pure motorsport engineering, bespoke flocked engine assembly, lightweight carbon fiber components, and an emotional driving feel that prioritizes human connection over digital performance. Furthermore, as the rest of the automotive industry transitions toward heavy electrification and automated gearboxes, naturally aspirated manual transmission sports cars are becoming endangered species. Because of this, GT3 models consistently enjoy sky-high demand and phenomenal value retention, making them fantastic long-term assets for automotive purists.
So, when the smoke clears and you have to make a decision, which Porsche 911 should you actually buy? If you are looking for an all-weather, high-performance daily driver that crushes highway miles, launches off the line like a fighter jet, and offers the absolute latest in Porsche hybrid technology and luxury connectivity, buy the 2026 Carrera GTS T-Hybrid. It is mind-bogglingly fast, insanely capable, and comfortable enough to drive to work every single morning without a single regret. However, if you view driving as an immersive, therapeutic hobby rather than just a mode of transportation, if you live for the mechanical feel of a crisp manual gear shift, and if you want to experience the unmatched sound of a naturally aspirated flat 6 screaming all the way to 9,000 RPM on your favorite back road, the 911 GT3 remains the undisputed king. It sacrifices some daily ride comfort and quietness, but it pays you back with an analog driving connection that modern digital cars simply cannot recreate. Now, I want to hear from all of you. If you had the keys to both cars sitting in your garage right now, which one are you taking out for a weekend mountain drive? The high-revving manual GT3 or the tech-loaded hybrid GTS? Drop your choice in the comments section below, hit that like button if you enjoyed this comprehensive breakdown, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the best performance cars on the planet. Thanks for watching, drive safe, and I'll see you in the next video.